Guys, but we can talk about the documentary previously. Has anybody in the chat actually watched the documentary? What do we think about it?
See, I found it weird because it's like.
Also, I suppose before, do you want to actually read Leanne's comment?
I will read Leanne's comment. I like the acknowledgement of legacy characters in the pictures frame. The letter, here's the latter. The letter Sharon read was a nice touch. However, we did think it would have been even better if it needed adoption advice.
That would have been a nice touch. Nice,
but yeah.
I think if we give the the more like boring, cynical answer, it's probably they didn't exactly have this bit planned out when they were filming the documentary and she was on set.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, in terms of documentary, it was okay. It was a good documentary. I just kind of, I think it peaked quite early because it's like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then oh, hey, we're gonna go see Ian and Kathy. It's like, oh yeah, great. And then they talk about Lou. They talk about some of the classic characters. Like, yeah, this is great. And then they go see Sharon, and then Grant says, oh, what was your favorite? Like, what storyline do you think was like the biggest EastEnders? And she goes, yeah, might be a bold one, Sharon Gate. Yeah, of course. Of course you say that Sharon Gate's the most influential EastEnders storyline of all time. Then into the Anita Dobson showing up, which was lovely. That was really nice. It's nice that she is getting her flowers. It's because she was on the last season of Doctor Who, and it's like, what the? That's what you look like now? Crazy, because you like, I know her in '85, and I guess I now know what she looks like now. It's weird. And then they go see Pat, and that's where I started to go, I'm really happy we see Pat, but I would have loved something a bit more substantial. It was just really weird. All right, we're on a bus. Why are we on a bus? Because I based Pat off a character I saw driving a bus. Okay. Do we not want to, like, reunite Pat with some people on the set? You know, make us see Bianca? I get. I mean, yeah, sure. Sure, there's not really the people to bring her back to, or, like, for. But, like, I don't know. It was just kind of like, okay, that's a bit weird. And then after Pat's appearance, I was just kind of like, because they made it seem really, they peaked really early. Because like, oh, Anita Dobson, she's showing up. We're gonna see a bunch of the old cast return to the set for the first time. No, that's reserved for one person and one person only. It's like, oh, okay then. And then they just start talking to Zach about how important his HIV storyline was, and it's like, yeah, all right.
I get they want to do like the past and the present, but my problem is it. We made the thumbnail. I like it, Ash.
Me. I make all the thumbnails. Thank you.
Also, they could not talk to Todd Carter. Why could they not talk to?
Well,
could they not? I read that wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
They could have. I would have. See, maybe they're saving it for the 50th, but they're probably not.
Well, no, because if you do it the 50th, it's too late.
Because could you not just get like half of these characters off the like? Could you not just like make the 40th one about all the past, and then make the 50th one about the last 10 years or so? Like because it doesn't really feel right to go in 2023. Zach had a HIV. Like yes, but you're making a documentary about your past. Why are you bringing up the present? Most people are here for the present. I get the stance is, oh, if you liked the past, you might like the present, and Grant's coming back, and it felt weird to me. Because I'm like, I could you not get like Susan Tully's Michelle? Could you not get Todd Carty's like
Arthur, not Arthur. Who the bloody hell?
Todd Carty's Mark.
Yeah, Mark. There we are. I was like David. No, that was the original actor.
Yeah. Like, could you not get them? Could you not like try and get like even not James Boyd, but James Alexander's Martin? Could you not
just anybody really. Like, it was because obviously it sucks because a lot of people have passed on at this point. A lot of the 80s characters are not really prominent now, and even if you did, are they necessarily going to return for this? Like, a lot of the characters like Lofty or like Mary the Punk, you're probably not going to get now because there's no real way to relate them to EastEnders in the current day. And that's kind of Simon Wicks would be interesting. But it peaked too early for me, and also it was just really formulaic. Like, maybe I feel like I've watched every single Ross Kemp documentary by watching that, because it's like, well, EastEnders it's been a pinnacle of TV over 40 years, and here's how EastEnders had all this cultural impact. I'm like, yeah, true, agreed, love it. You know, learned that the Angie and Den Watts is the most viewed like British TV thing ever, which is crazy. And then they just start relating how the new characters are. They start relating how the new characters are, like how they relate to the old.
Have you seen the Shanghai one? I have not seen the Shanghai.
I have not. What didn't they do a new series of EastEnders Revealed? Because I only watched the 40th one. Oh, I'll have a little check.
And they said Ash, you do a good Ross Kemp impression.
Thank you. I'm working on
it. It's called Ross Kemp first.
Also, just Ross Kemp is it's just Ross Kemp remembers Sharon Gate. Yeah, I'll feast my eyes on this at some point. Like, I can't say the documentary was necessarily like it was good, it was nice, but then in the end it just became about Ross Kemp. Well, I didn't know at the start I was going to be back on the show, but now I am, and look at me filming this scene in the Queen Vic. It's like, you fuck off, Ross. None of you, we're not here for you. You've not been holding up EastEnders for the last 30 years. You fucked off to do other stuff. Coasting on your Grant Mitchell machismo. He's a legend, of course. Love him. Love him dearly. But it just went all sorts of weird places, and I don't know. I've just become a bit of a critic lately, apparently. It was good. It was nice.
But also, the problem I have is they don't really talk about the original creation. They just go, it was an idea by Julia Smith and Tom Holland, or whatever his name was. Tony Holland, whatever the fuck. my favorite Marvel superhero, Tony Holland. Like, they kind of go, yeah, it's an idea they create because they wanted to write a Coronation Street. And I'm like, yeah, but could you not go into depth? Like, you are the BBC. You do have the footage. I can't do it because I'll get fucking copyrighted the shit off YouTube.
Yes.
You guys can do it. It just felt like it's kind of like, the only way I can describe it is like, I know most people won't get this, but I will just describe. It's like as a wrestling fan watching the Vince McMahon documentary, because you're like, oh, they're going to dive deep into like all the past scandals and all the content. Because Vince McMahon was the billionaire who owned the WWE, and when I say there's a lot of scandals, you could probably fill about 3 closets full of them scandals. And like, I thought they were going to dive deep into that. No, they just go, yeah, this happened, and then it goes to Vince, and it's like, yeah, this happened. And then it goes to someone else, and he's like, well, actually, Vince is wrong. It's kind of the same with this one, because it's like, if you know these bits, it's just, it doesn't feel, it's like, did you know? I did know. Did you know the first? I did know. And it's like, unless you're a casual, you're not really going to know this. So it's just
like, I guess it's just, it was nice, like, if you're a returning viewer, it was lovely to see, like, Anita Dobson, because, you know, even though she only spent, 3 years there, it's icon, immediately. Like, just incredible. But then you get like a little bit of Pat, but the Pat one's just weird because it felt like they just didn't make up the relationship. They just went, oh, all right, Ross is asking you if you can come film this documentary, and she goes, yeah, but I'm not going back to that fucking place. Because it's like, yeah, we'll shoot it on a bus. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's weird. But like, it wasn't bad. It was good fun. It just kind of it overpromised and underdelivered for me.
I just feel like if you're doing a documentary, you make it about the creation of EastEnders, and then you do it in little sections there, where you go through the biggest creations. Obviously, you do the Watts family, then you do the Beals, then you do the Fowlers, and obviously you do the biggest one, which will be the Mitchells, because I think everyone knows the Mitchells more than the Beals and Fowlers and Watts to an extent.
Yeah, it was also just a bit of a. It was a bit of a strange. It was a bit of a strange way that they kind of. Karen, sorry, I completely lost in the film.
It's just it's just a weird way of how they went about it, because it's like, here's the past, but also here's the present. It's like, yes, but if you're celebrating 40 years, you're not really going to do the present yet. Like, you can do one in the present after the 40th and, like, congratulate all those people, or you have to lock in for that one, which is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could, like, because it would be nice to get all the original people that are alive to, like, get them and, like, see what they thought about the EastEnders. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I think his name's Todd Carty.
Yeah.
Like, he would have been nice to talk about, like, him with HIV,
You know, the impact with
the
the HIV, you have him meet Zach, and they talk about the impact of the storylines. You know, you bring in Little Mo, and you have her talk to, I don't know, another, like, prolific domestic abuse case. Probably not Chantel, but, you know, as there's been others in soap, but you just... yeah, it was just bizarre. It was just like... There's also a lot of people who probably should have got a mention about the history and the legacy, never really did. Like, I'm always happy when Lou Beale gets a mention, because I fucking love Lou Beale, and she is my favourite. She's just one of my favourite characters who is untouchable. Like, you know, most people say, like, Peggy and Pat are untouchable. Lou Beale is untouchable for me. She spent, what, like, 2-3 years there? But, like, I will never hate on Lou Beale.
It also feels like they didn't really, like, they, like, obviously mentioned Doc.
Yeah,
but,
but
like, they didn't...
They just went,
they
oh, she had a bloody catchphrase, didn't she?
It's,
And they had that
it's
one segment where it's like, June, do you ever wonder about any of the scandals coming out about your past, like, friendships? And she goes, no, they're all dead. It's gold. Fucking gold.
Is that what she said? I thought they were just giving her a thought.
No, it was like, oh, you know, what do you think about the media, like, bringing up all these, like, past relationships and any, like, secrets? Now they're all dead. Fucking hell, alright.
But I feel like, because that is the one person you'd have to miss the old matriarch, Little Beale, Dot, and Ethel. Yeah.
I mean, technically, Ethel's not really a matriarch, but I do like, you know, that just like the nan, you know, the nan. So they take care of everyone.
But
I do agree.
Weird. It feels weird in a sense because you have them talk about, like, I need adoption, and I know I need adoption is a legacy character, but I understand Dot is dead, so you can't really get anyone to talk for Dot. You could probably get Nick Cotton. You can't really bring in June Brown because she is dead, unfortunately. But you could have literally got someone to talk about, like, her presence and how she really helped the show.
Oh yeah, she would have. Barbara Windsor would definitely have been there. Barbara Windsor, if she was still alive somehow, would be here right now.
Well, it also depends. Are we including, like, does she not have dementia in this instance? If she had,
yeah.
Because I don't think she would remember much from the show if she has dementia.
No,
sadly.
No, but, like, you know, if she was still around, of course, almost definitely.
She definitely would have. Because it feels weird because they sort of had to mention Peggy, but they just went, Pat St. Clement, here's Peggy. And like,
although when they did show the Peggy and Pat, like, the ghost, I was just like, no. Obviously, I don't cry because I'm not good. I'm bad at. I only cry at Grey's Anatomy, apparently. But, like, just. Oh. And yeah, no, I do agree. The Dot and Ethel episode is that makes me cry every time.
I'd assume you know about the Dot episode where Ethel asked Dot to kill her.
Yes. It's so hard to watch because it's so pure and it's so good. Like, I don't watch. There are a couple deaths in soap that always make me cry. You have Jack and Vera's deaths in Coronation Street because they were there for like 30 years and they were your nan and granddad. They did love each other. But they spent 90% of the time being like, "Ah, you fucking bitch, fuck off. Hey, why am I stuck with you?" But secretly, like, I do love. I wouldn't be here with anybody else. And, like, you know, both death, they come back for each other's deaths. Vera dies first, and then Vera's there for Jack's death. Oh, fuck, just tears. Absolute, it's so good. Like, because it is just that, like, old married couple who, like you said, they wouldn't be there if the other person wasn't there. And it's just, Pat's death always makes me cry. Ethel's death makes me cry. I just
I
get angry
definitely,
over Dot's death.
yeah, definitely would have made me cry. Had the producer not been a, I don't care. I'm saying the word, we're too far deep. Had the producer not been a cunt, I would have actually loved to see Doc get a proper send off. But no,
Yeah.
he decided to be a dick. And just be like, yeah, leave. You can't read. Fuck you. Yeah, she's an icon. You wouldn't have your job if it wasn't for her. Well, you would, but
Yeah, I do agree. Pat dying when Janine is there is probably the only like genuine honest conversation they had where they basically went, look, I do love you, all right? I do love and appreciate you, and I may have given you a lot of abuse, but it's because I saw the best in you. I think a problem, especially because they have killed a lot of long running characters, is we don't really have the next generation of the Dots or the Peggys
no.
or the Pats. Like, the closest we currently have is Yolande, but Yolande spent 20 years being a background character, you know? Like, yeah, sure, Dot did similar, but even then, Dot still had, like, a very prominent role. Like, she still had a very prominent role regardless, and it's just like, and that's also the sad bit about the documentary is you have Pat there, and it's like she's still in good shape now. She obviously you don't know if she would have wanted to stay, but she could have probably still been here, man. We could have had 10 more years with Pat. But like,
You could
we'll never see the Ronnies and Roxys grow up in old age. Like,
But I do feel like I was going to say. I say something. I was going to say something wrong. I do feel like Ronnie and Roxy will be back
they'll be
in about
back.
10 years now. I want to see Tracy star as a main, the star to develop as a main character for the next 10 years. She did Shag Phil.
She did have that mini series that I didn't watch.
Yeah, but isn't that just exclusive to a website that you can't access?
Yeah, it's not like a common thing.
Ronnie and Roxy New Year's was when I was introduced as
Good time.
it was just
Good time to be introduced to the show.
just sadly they're there. Like I can't wait to see Ronnie and Roxy in the next. Oh, they're dead. Oh, there goes my next episode.
I definitely picked up watching the show as a kid around like 08, 09-ish when I was like 8. Obviously, I had no clue what was going on. Like seeing Trina get pushed into the rake, and I'm just like, what did they do? Because it's when Lucas is on his like killing spree, and he pushes ex-wife Trina into like in the shed, and she goes neck first onto the rake, and she just like moves off of blood, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
You were 9 in 1980. It was essentially watching art. You were old.
Nice, cultured fan.
Yeah, you were officially you were unk status in this chat. You were surrounded by 2 young, handsome young men. I'd say handsome, about as handsome as a fat guy 8 beers deep in.
It just sort of fell off a bit from. Oh yeah, I agree. 2020
I mean,
to 2022, I despised. I didn't mind 2022 as much, but it became my least favorite soap in that time period from 2018 to 2022.
I mean, the problem, like, I give 2020 some flack because, like, obviously the first half they didn't have a pandemic, but the second half there was a big pandemic. So I do kind of, I do kind of give them that preference. There was a pandemic, but from what I watched, who's your main character? Gray Atkins. Oh. Ben Mitchell. Oh, Whitney. Oh. and how is Kush gonna die? He's going to get pushed in front of a train track, but there's no CCTV camera because it's London. And it's like, hey, fuck off. There would be CCTV camera. Don't try and cut me out.
I too really did not like the 2020 to 2022. But yeah, like in that time period, I picked up watching Coronation Street and Hollyoaks around 2020 when the pandemic hit, and not obviously it was a terrible time to watch Coronation Street because you had Jeff and Yasmin storyline, which was a very like dark, coercive, controlled domestic abuse storyline, And then you also had Leanne had a baby called Oliver who was like 3 years old and just died. He was just dying. He was on like life support for what felt like months. But because Coronation Street, they had a lot of shit filmed, and because they had 6 episodes a week, they made it 3 episodes a week. But just put out 3 a week. So it's like, oh god, nothing happened for the 4th week in a fucking row. And I don't know. I love Hollyoaks, but Hollyoaks is only really now coming back up to form.
I started watching around the time this was introduced and the Laura Kansas storyline started. I was also with exams. Hope the exams went well, depending on your education that you went to, whether that was college or
about 3 years
secondary
ago.
school.
Good luck with the exams 3 years ago, legend.
Yeah. I mean, you only know. Congratulations. It's great to be able to chat about the show like this. We used to always unpack episodes after the show. So coming on here for we this is what we tend to do. Obviously, we're going to review the episode in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Which we should have done about half an hour.
We should have done about half an hour ago, yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Ash would be contrary to me when he get off camera. He would keep that looking good. Don't do that.
I mean, maybe I'll just turn the documentary into an actual video that gets released.